Veteran Salute is sponsored by the DeVaughn James Injury Lawyers.
Welcome back. During World War II, members of the 106th Infantry Division were in Germany for only 5 days when the enemy forces rolled in.
Gwen Bevel and photojournalist Nick Kiefer have one prisoner of war's story in this Veteran Salute.
John Mock says since they were infantry, all they had were their rifles as more than 8,000 German artillery pieces blasted them.
Our ears still ringing.
And it's easy to see why as John Mock describes what happened when that first shell hit.
We dived in the foxhole. Well, my foot didn't make it. There was a shell hit 5 feet on my left. Piece of metal went clear through the side of my foot.
So with only one shoe, Mock says the soldiers started walking through the snow. He says they had no choice. They were out of food and ammo.
Achtung, that means attention in Germany. We run right square into them.
And they were taken as prisoners of war. Mock says months and months went by in a camp before they were locked inside train cars. Not knowing who was inside, Allied forces blew up the train's engine.
Pretty emotional day that day.
99 days after they were captured.
Here come the 99th Division. Fattest GIs we'd ever seen.
He says when they figured out who they had discovered, they called for every ambulance in the country.
We were dirty, we were filthy, we hadn't shaved, we were 2 walking skeletons.
Mock says many of the prisoners couldn't even walk. He weighed just 105 pounds.
The inside of my trousers, the inside seam is white with lice eggs. I could count all my ribs. I didn't have a stomach. I could touch my finger and thumb around my arm.
Mock says he was also wearing a torn-up German overcoat.
Finally, we started speaking English. Said we're Americans and we've been in a prisoner of war camp.
Mock says the nurse then burst into tears.
Here she come, bucket of warm water. Next time, she had a brand new bar of soap, towel, wash rag, a razor, a metal mirror, and a brand new pair of pajamas.
What she brought next, he still vividly remembers.
She had a coffee cup full of sliced peaches. You cannot believe how good that tasted.
The next day, as Mock was taken to a hospital in France, his family would receive a telegram. He was no longer missing in action. He'd been a prisoner and had finally been freed. And Mock says even after all these years,
It seemed like at night, I've got to go through the whole thing again.
Mock says the German guards were either too old or too young to be in the army, so they were made guards, and they never abused the prisoners. He says they were really hungry, too. He remembers at Christmas when the guards started singing Silent Night. He says the prisoners joined them. He said it sounds the same no matter what language you sing it in. Here for you, Gwen Bevel, KSN News 3.
Tonight we salute John Mock for his service during World War II.
The DeVaughn James Injury Lawyer is here with one special U.S. Army infantryman, and that's Corporal John Mock, who served our country in World War II, was the recipient of a Purple Heart, and was also a prisoner of war. On behalf of all of Kansas, Corporal Mock, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you. I will donate this check to the food bank.
Veteran Salute is sponsored by the DeVaughn James Injury Lawyers.